when we filmed this, New York looked very different. And it was the sort of romantic, sensationalized version of New York City in the holiday season.
I mean, I binged it during quarantine for sure.
Your heart lies in two countries, both the US and India at this point are really suffering when it comes to the crisis that COVID brought with itself. How have you, as a person, as a professional, as somebody who has families now in both the countries, been coping up with the crisis?
I mean, it's been one of the most difficult things to have ever happened to humankind. And I think we've very much recognized our privilege, and we very much recognized the fact that we could stay in a space which kept us safe. We had the ability to stay in touch with our families. We had the ability to be quarantined. You know, there are so many people in the world that don't even have the space to be able to do that, don't have the ability to get home, like the migrant workers that we saw in India. So it's been a really, really difficult time. And I feel like this time has really shown us also that humanity is resilient, and we've seen a lot of people step up and help and do as much as they can for their communities, for people that they can touch. We've done it. We've tried to do it ourselves. Give as much attention, time as we could to get the knowledge out there and to help as much as we can. And I feel like we'll come out of this together. We were in it together, but as a world, we're going to come out of this together, because that's the only way.
Your work generates employment to a whole lot of people who are dependent on the entertainment setup in general. And therefore, the fact, Nick, that you've been working through this pandemic, you recently got back into The Voice as a mentor. People are just too excited about it. I must tell you that this whole banter with Blake Shelton was hilarious. So the warrior is clearly not sleeping. How does it feel to be back on the show, and have you been shooting for The Voice of late?
Yeah, I mean, it's great to be back. I started about a month ago and wrapped up in time to join Priyanka here in London to kind of get her set up in her world as she begins shooting here. But, it's a very different scene on set than it was on my last season, going back a year ago. The conclusion of my first season was during the sort of heat of our lockdown back in May. So to be able to come back and actually be on set again is a nice thing. And, everyone's taking the necessary protocols and taking this very seriously as you must, and it's not only about, your safety and your family's safety, obviously, but all the people that you work with. And there is, I think, a thing that we've spoken about, which is the fact that it can be done in a safe way. There's an exuberance on set amongst, everyone that's there, and the different sort of factors of all the jobs and what it takes to make a show of that size and a film of the size that she's doing kind of operate. And it's great to see that we're able to be back on set. And I'm hopeful that I give Blake a run for his money this season, because he beat me last season, beat my team. So we'll see what happens. I get back to set in January, and hopefully everything, continues to get better as far as the COVID of it all goes.
The series on Netflix, Dash and Lily, you decided to produce it. It seems like the quintessential, perfect, comforting teenage rom-com for the holiday season. What made you take up that script and sort of back it up as a producer?
I'm actively building out my production company right now. It's called Image 32, and we've got various projects, and this is the first one that's actually come out. And this was, kind of stemming from a relationship that I had with Sean Levy from 21 Laps. He and I have known each other for a long time, and he brought me the book first, Dash and Lily, and thought that it would be a good first step as a producer and an executive producer, and for me. And I was thrilled at the opportunity to get to work on the project. And it's kind of strange, because when we filmed this, New York looked very different, and it was the sort of romantic, sensationalized version of New York City in the holiday season. And so to actually have that now in a time when it looks very different and the world's a very different place, I think is a really nice thing, and hopefully it brings people some joy. And it feels like the sort of perfect holiday binger on Netflix, and I'm thrilled that people are enjoying it.
I mean, I binged it during quarantine for sure.